Hello everyone, welcome to the show. My name is Amanda Ostrander. I am a teacher-turned-homeschool mom, and this is Raising A to Z, a place where we talk about all things homeschooling. And today, I'm going to show you what's in my morning basket. Last year, we started doing a morning basket. It was a newer concept to us. It's very much a Charlotte Mason kind of thing, but I decided we're going to try it. It wasn't a complicated thing to set up. It was very easy. I was able to add a lot of different elements that I wanted to add kind of into our routine in a very simple and easy way. And I figured we'd give it a try. And I was blown away at how much it impacted our school day in a positive way. It was such an easy thing to do. It kickstarted our day. It kickstarted our learning. And it was such a simple thing that even on the days when we couldn't do workbooks, like if we were running out to an appointment or if we had other activities or something going on, it was such a short, intense time of so many learning and little academic things that we were able to do it kind of almost every day. But also the kids didn't feel like it was a lot of learning material and learning activities. So I'm going to show you what's in my basket. Now there are kind of two schools of thought when it comes to morning baskets. One of them is that you fill your morning basket with things that your kids can do independently while, let's say, you're cleaning up from breakfast or something like that. That's not really how I run my morning basket. I kind of run it more as a basket of stuff that I can do with my kids to jumpstart our day. And I kind of think of it as the homeschool equivalent of school circle time or carpet time, when the teacher would call you to the carpet and you would all get together and discuss what was going to happen that day, do a couple little things all together, and then go off and do your own thing. So one of the reasons why I like doing that type of basket over the other one is I do find that I don't have to rotate through it as often. I can kind of keep it a little bit more structured in that sense, that what I have in my basket, I only change certain components out throughout the year. Whereas if the kids are into it, pieces go missing, they might get bored of it. They might get really into one thing or not. The other thing that happens when you have the other style of morning basket, which there's no reason against it, but a lot of them are very heavily themed to their unit study. And that can get expensive in the sense that every time you change your unit, you're kind of changing out your whole morning basket. And any flashcards and games and activities and all of that, you're changing out. So I like this circle time kind of feel to my morning basket personally. Maybe that's the teacher in me, but I also like it that I can change certain things and keep other things. And I find it keeps it a little more structured and a little bit more economical. So here's what's in my basket. My basket consists of two things, two parts really. There's the things that I keep all year round, and there's the things that I change out on a monthly, bi-monthly basis. So I'm going to start with the things that I keep in my basket all year round. So first thing I keep in my basket, I have a National Geographic's Brain Candy. This is just a book of fun facts. Each page has a little bit of writing, some pictures, and it's all just fun facts. I like this because it's kind of a fun way to start the day. It just gets us kind of in the idea of thinking of all the cool things that happen in the world. My kids really like this. So yeah, we start with that. Then we move on to our word of the day book. This has been something that I love. I love books that have, or resources that have dates. So for example, I can just open this up to whatever today's date is. What is today's date? Today is September. Let's just pick a day. Today is September 11th. Let's just pick that because that's easy today. Today is September 11th. There is a picture. There's the word crochet. It is how you pronounce it in case you don't know. There's a definition. There's what kind of word it is. So this is a noun. And then there's a little blurb where they talk about either how the word is used. They use it in a sentence and tell a fun fact, or they describe the word in a way that makes more sense. This one is Polish fiber artist Olek often uses crochet to create site-specific works of art. Olek travels across the world creating giant yarn cozies that cover buildings and large monuments. Once she covered an entire house in Sweden in pink crocheted fabric and knitted a head-to-toe sweater for the Charging Bull statue in New York's financial capital, Wall Street. That's how we do this. So we get up, we find whatever the date is, open it up, and it's done. I get to do whatever it says there. I don't have to think about it, which is why I love when they have like a dated thing. It makes my life a little bit easier, less thinking in the morning. Then we move on to, this is new this year, but my kids are already loving it. Same idea as the Word of the Day book. Sing a Song of Seasons. Every day, it's dated. Every day has a poem. So I just open it up and there is a poem for that day. I don't have to like figure out what poems we're going to do. I don't have to figure out what it's going to be. If there's a theme, I just open it to whatever day it is. September 11th, because that's what we're going to go with today. September 11th is Dew on a Spider's Web. Dew on a Spider's Web is a wonderful sight. Early mornings find what has been created at night. Lovely design spun so nice, without a pattern of device. Looking at the mats of lace shows how long it takes to place. By Dorothy Snow. So, boom. Pick something up. I've read it. We've done a little bit of poetry. We can talk about it. And it's all like nature-based poems. So my kids, like nature, and Zoe is obsessed with animals. So it just flows really well for us. And I don't have to think about it. It is a literary activity that I don't have to think or plan about. We just open it, read it, talk about it, say how much we like it or dislike it, and we get to move on. The other thing I include all the time is a calendar. This is, I know it's not fancy, but it works really well for us. Dollar store whiteboard, magnetic strip, and paper that I have writing. I've either printed or written on. So on this side, I don't know if you can see it right now, but it says today is Friday, September 8th, 2023. Like that is what we do. I do it in French and English with my kids. I pull this out, we go through the date, and then I change these out to match whatever we're doing that day. I find that just helps us know what the expectations for the day are and what the flow of the day is going to be. So if we have to have lunch a little bit earlier, they're not thrown by that. If we're going to be holding off to do something until a little bit later than normal, they're not thrown by that. I find it just helps our day flow really well to know what's coming and what's expected. So we do this, we hit our calendar time, and like I said, it's dollar store and some magnetic strip. I think it cost me $4 to make it. Doesn't have to be fancy, but it works really well. And I have magnetic strips for all kinds of activities, everything from our activities like Girl Guides, gymnastics. They also have like co-ops. They have go visit grandparents. They have movie night or video game night, whatever we're doing as a family. I have just strips like that. And like I said, just put them on. They're fantastic. The other thing I always have in my basket is my homeschool planner. The Essential Homeschool Planner is designed for homeschoolers. I know that because I designed it, and I like to keep it in my morning basket so that A, I know where it is, and B, I can kind of look over what we're going to actually be doing that day without before the kids take off for the day. So if we have to do an activity, if I have to find something while they're getting ready, because right after morning baskets, they go off and get ready for the day, brush your teeth, comb your hair, get dressed. That gives me a few minutes to figure out if I need to grab anything, if I need to find a supplier or anything. It gives me that time because I get to see what I actually need for that day. And it just helps me stay organized to see what's going on. So that is always in my planner as well. So that is typically what is in my basket every single month. Those things do not change. We will use those from September all the way through. They do not change. But there are some things that do change in my basket, and I swap them out every couple of weeks to every couple of months, depending on how long it takes us to get through it. So let's go over what I put in my basket that I change out on a regular basis. So the first thing I change out, books. I fill my basket. I probably put about a dozen books in my basket, if not more, that are, picture books. And these picture books for me are what link my morning basket to my unit study. So right now we're doing Indigenous people of Canada. So I have a whole bunch of books either written by Indigenous authors or featuring Indigenous stories of people in Canada. So I will put a whole bunch of these in my basket. Usually whenever we finish a unit, I take all of the books either back or put them back on the shelves, and then I replace them with whatever books on whatever the new unit is. So after this month, these will be changed out to books about like mushrooms and fungus. So that's what we do. Other things that change out. So I like to have, I have a couple of Professor Noggins. I don't know if you can see up here, but I think I have 3 more up there. These are basically, it's supposed to be a card game, which it is. It's a great little card game, but it has a whole bunch of cards. I actually didn't open this one yet. It's brand new. So it is a card game, and you can play it as a card game. My kids also like to just do it kind of as like a fun facts question kind of activity. And so there are, when you play the game, you're supposed to roll the dice and answer whatever question it says. There's questions 1, 2, and 3. We just kind of read like maybe 3 or 4 questions off the card and see who can get the answers right. It's very simple. I have a couple different ones depending on what we want to do. Sometimes I have unit specific ones. So last year we did Canadian geography. I have a Canadian geography one. This year in the spring we're going to be doing birds. So they have a Birds of North America game. Perfect. So sometimes I'll have one of these in there. I also have a history of Canada. They have a whole bunch, everything from like ancient civilizations to sciencey stuff to space to all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of a nice way to just like add some science or social studies to your basket without like making it too intensive. The other thing that I will do if I'm not doing like a Professor Noggins as an activity, this is new for us and I'm very excited about it. I will do picture study. My kids, when we did the artist unit last year, really liked kind of looking at the pictures. So I decided to grab these. So this is a picture study. These are from the company Simply Charlotte Mason. And this is by Emily Kisser is her name. Kisser. And so basically everyone has some pictures that you can like actually look through, as well as, so it has like very large high quality prints of the photos of the different artworks, as well as a book. And the book has like life story. It has little things to think about with each painting. It has different like notes about the artist, how to do picture walk. So we can take time, spend like a couple of minutes every day looking either at the same piece of art or a couple different pieces of art and do this. So this is kind of something that I can alternate between like the Professor Noggin and doing the picture study. So I grabbed 2 because we've never officially done them before, but I thought it would be kind of fun. So I grabbed a Van Gogh and Monet just because I like Monet and they've seen Van Goghs when we went to the Met this summer. So they're interested. So that's what I picked. So those are things that you can include your basket. They're simple. They don't take very long, but they just kind of add a little bit of fun. Yeah, so I changed out Professor Noggins, the picture books, the art study. Other things that I include in my basket, I guess I include 3 things. The things that stay, the things that change, and the bonuses. The bonuses are little things for the kids to do while I'm either reading a book or something like that to keep their hands busy. Or it's like a little fun kind of learning or like get your brain going kind of activity. So one thing I often include are coloring books. My kids love the adult style coloring books. They find them a little bit more interesting to color than the, let me find a better picture. They find them a little bit more interesting to color than the regular, like a regular picture book. Zoe likes a regular picture book, but even then she still often comes to these more complicated photos and complicated pictures to draw. These, I guess you could find them on Amazon. I find a lot of these at Dollarama in the book section. So I think they're like usually run around $2 or $3. They're a great price. And like I said, they're really, really interesting. It takes the kids a long time to get through them. So one picture might take them 2 or 3 weeks to color because they're so intricate. So, and they love them. Obviously they need something to color the books with. I am not a fan of pencil crayons during morning basket time. I'm actually not a fan of pencil crayons in general, because they have to be sharpened, and sharpening very quickly can either be A, difficult, or B, something that we do when we're bored and distracted and want to just stop doing what we're doing. So I like to go with things that they don't need to be sharpened, so they don't have that excuse of like constantly leaving to sharpen things or making a mess or making noise. I used to include markers. Sometimes the markers bleed through the coloring pages. Then I turn to Twistables by Crayola. So these, if you've never used them, I love these for traveling as well, because they have the pencil crayon nests. They're a pencil crayon essentially, but you just twist them and the lead comes up and out. So you don't have to ever sharpen them, which is really, really nice. But you have like the pencil crayon, like they won't go through your paper like a marker would. And there's a little bit more control over the color, like how much you push, and you can layer a little bit better. So my kids like these. They're a little bit more expensive. That's why they only stay in the morning basket, or I use them for, like I said, traveling, because you don't need a sharpener and they don't make a mess. But these are a great addition to your morning basket. The other bonus things I include sometimes are little games. One of them is Canoodle, but I can't find it. I think that the girl stole it. So that is a very fun little game. I will put a link to it down below. Basically, it has little pieces and you're always trying to solve the puzzle or solve the problem. There are also, you could go online and find other educational games to play with Canoodle. But just as it is, my kids love to play just the basic version of it. So much so that I do believe they've taken it somewhere. So Canoodle is a huge hit. The other one they like is this dog pile. Again, it's very similar to Canoodle in the sense that you're trying to make shapes or puzzles with these little puzzle pieces that are actually little dogs. My biggest problem is making sure Zoe doesn't take these to play with. But inside it has, let me get this flipped. All right, so it comes with cards. And it says, make this, for example, this is a expert level one. There's different levels. Make this shape using the dogs and make it 4 levels high. Can you do it? And it's got to fit on those squares. It is, like I said, there's expert levels. That one's expert level. But there are also like beginner level. So here are 4 dogs. Using these 4 dogs, make 1 layer and make it cover all of the squares here. So it's not a complicated game, but the kids really like it. So, and it gets them kind of like thinking and trying and doing a little bit of problem solving, but it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't feel like a race. And the other thing that's kind of nice is you can make it a race if you want to. Give them both a different card and see how long it takes them to solve the puzzle, and the fastest one wins. So that's kind of my bonuses. But yeah, that's what I included in my morning basket. It's not complicated. We just sit down and do it. And the nice thing about the basket for me, one of the benefits is it doesn't take long. Our whole morning basket, when I sit down, like I said, I'll show you what happens in one session. We do 1 page, 1 word, 1 poem, 1 book, and then we'll do 2 cards. That's morning basket. It's about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how long the picture book is. That's it. It's not a long process. It's not a long, time, and it changes quite often. So the kids are quite like happy to go along with it because we're getting through so much so quickly, but it is super educational. We're getting lots of literacy. We're getting lots of, stuff about our unit studies, which for us is usually like science and social studies. We're getting a lot in a very short amount of time. And sometimes, like I said, if we don't have time to do our full day of workbooks or like our full unit study or anything, it's a very simple way to know that we've done something educational. And at least in my brain, sometimes you have those days where you're like, oh, we didn't get anything done. It's a very quick little like, oh, we did a morning basket. That was enough for today. And then we get to move on without feeling guilty or stressed. And so, yeah, that's what I include in my basket. That is why I do a morning basket. And I highly recommend that you try a morning basket in your homeschooling. I really can't see much of a con to it. Like once you set it up, it's not very expensive. Like I said, my biggest costs were this poem book and the word book this year. And those are resources I can use for several years going forward. So thank you so much for watching. If you guys want to see how I use the morning basket on a daily basis and what I'm doing specifically on a day, definitely follow on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And I definitely think you guys should become members. When you become a YouTube member, you get some really great benefits, including bonuses, live chats with me, extra videos, early releases on videos, coupons for stuff. So there's all kinds of benefits for you to become a member. So thank you so much for watching. I will put links to all of this stuff down below, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.